What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lariello, and I'm so excited to welcome the Trail Team Elite Team for 2025 to the podcast. Over the next week or so, I'm going to start rolling out interviews with each of the new 8 members of the Trail Team Elite Team. We're going to start off this week. We're going to kick it off with none other than Mr. Hawk Call. Kid Dynamite, man. Big fan of Hawk Calls. Got to watch Hawk Call last year actually dominate and win the Cirque Series Grand Targhee race. He actually also took the win at the Speedgoat 28K. Hawk's been on a tear. I mean, a very, very solid mountain runner. The son of absolute legend, probably the best to ever do it in the OCR scene, Mr. Hobie Call. It's pretty crazy to see like how Hawk has just like taken to the sport and really grown over the last few years, and I'm so excited for what he's going to be able to do. He's got his eyes set on the Golden Trail Series for this year. He's already had amazing finishes at the Broken Arrow 23K over the last few years. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take a podium finish or a top 10 as well at Broken Arrow this year, if not win the damn thing. So it's going to be fun to follow along. Big fan of Hawk Calls. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hope to have him on again after the season for more to talk about. Without further ado, none other than Mr. Hawk Call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Listen up, guys. The Steep Stuff Podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Direction USA. Guys, I am so excited. UD just dropped their new Race Vest 6-liter and Ultra Vest 12-liter in 2 beautiful aesthetic colors. You guys got to check these new vests out. They're dynamic in ways like that you just have never seen from an Ultimate Direction vest. Very stretchy, lots of storage, beautiful aesthetic colorways coming to you in a new, like a white and blue and an onyx and green. Just absolutely beautiful vests. I think these ones are just like some of the best products we've ever dropped, and I'm so excited for you guys to try them out. Hop on ultimatedirection.com and use code SteepStuffPod. Again, that's SteepStuffPod for 25% off your new vest. I mean, they're already affordably priced, but 25% off is just going to make it so much more affordable for folks in an already increasingly expensive trail running environment. So hop on ultimatedirection.com, get yourself a new vest, a pack, or any hydration solution, and let me know what you guys think. Hawk Call, welcome to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm doing great. I'm super excited to finally have a chat with you, dude. Congratulations on making it onto the Trail Team Elite Squad for this year. And dude, I've been wanting to have a conversation with you since last year. You whooped my ass at Cirque Series. What was it? Grand Targhee. You had a great race there.
Wyoming. Yeah.
Ever since then, I was like, man, I got to get this kid on the podcast. Like, you really like ran a great race. Like, you beat a Michelino Sinceri like just before he ran the Grand Teton. So like you beat some fit dudes. So anyway, dude, how's your day going?
Yeah, it's good. Just got off work where wasn't too bad, but it was all right. Work is work, you know. You got to do what you got to do. So
nice. It's true. Training going well? Everything on that end?
Yeah. I was dealing with some Achilles issues towards the end of last season. And then kind of throughout the winter a little bit, it was just kind of coming and going. But training's ramping back up though, starting to get back up to full mileage and workouts again. And so I'm feeling good. I'm excited for the year.
Nice, dude. Well, I'm excited to talk about your season and what you got planned. Before we dive into it, maybe give like a little like the 5-minute elevator pitch on like your running background and, you know, just like your relationship with the sport of running. I think you have a very unique story, especially given like how like storied your dad is in the sport and like all these different things. So dive into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started, I started really running in like high school, like most people. And so before that, I do a little running here and there, but mainly just kind of for the fun of it. And we had a family rule where like we weren't allowed to play any video games or electronics before we had a workout of the day. And I just chose running as my workouts, and so that's kind of how it started. But then, yeah, after that, high school, I ran for Stansbury High out in Tooele County in Utah, and had a ton of fun. I really liked the coach out there, had a good time. Ended up performing well enough at a couple of state meets that I got recruited by UVU over in Orem in Utah Valley. And so I ran cross country and track and field for them for a few years. And then when I finished up there, then I did a little bit of OCR stuff like Spartan, Tough Mudder, that kind of stuff. And so I did about a year, yeah, about a year or so of OCR racing with like kind of some trail racing thrown in there, but like my main focus was like Spartan. And it just didn't really I don't know. It just didn't really go well. I guess I should take that back. It did go well. I was performing well. I was winning races and I was having fun. But Spartan just kind of isn't really at a time right now with like their elite athletes to where like it's a focus of theirs. And so it just kind of I don't know. I got drew towards the trail racing because I mean it's just getting more and more popular these days. It's exploding and there's a lot of really good elite athletes in the field now, and so it's just super competitive and fun. And so kind of got drawn away from OCR into mainly trail racing for this last summer, and then this year I was like, well, I had a really good time last year, so I'm just going to do the same thing. But
Nice, man. Dude, your improvement has been crazy. Like, you started off, you raced what? Speedgoat in 2023, had a top 25 performance, which was lights out. I mean, even for
yeah,
being so young. And then like you just started putting it together last year. I mean, like I said, some great, great few great Cirque Series results, and then like smashing the Speedgoat 28K. Like, dude, like,
yeah,
yeah, like
that
you really put it together, man. It's impressive to see like, like how you've just really started learning and getting significantly better, like in the matter of like a couple of years, which is, very exciting to see. Maybe let's dive a little bit more back into your like collegiate years. Like, what did you
Mhm.
specify in on the track? Like, were you a middle distance guy or like a miler? Like, what did you do?
I was a distance guy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So back in college, I did cross country, obviously, which is 8Ks, 10Ks, the typical, collegiate D1 experience. And then, yeah, in track and field, I did the 3K, 5K, and steeplechase. And so 3K steeplechase. And then I never actually did run a 10K on the track. I don't know why. I don't know, it just never happened. I guess I don't know. I don't really have a good reason for that. But yeah, lots of 5Ks, lots of steeplechase. Those were typically the two races that I focus on during track season, and then the 3K for the indoor track season.
gotcha.
And so yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed track. More so cross country. But yeah, it was a good time. I really liked running at UVU, and I think I got my 5K down to a 14:42 on the track,
Solid.
which nothing insane, but it was a good, it set me up well for trail racing and for running outside of college. But
That's what I was
yeah,
gonna say. Is like most fast trail guys are somewhere underneath that, like 50, that 15, a little underneath 15. Every now and then you'll
yeah,
meet like I think Mason Copey is like a sub 14 guy, but like there's not too many
yeah,
of them floating around. Like that's a solid 5K time, dude. That Jesus.
yeah.
I'm curious about like the area you live in, just because there's like, what is it? Christian Allen's not that far away. Like,
hmm
there's a lot of really talented athletes in your area. Did that play any role in, and does it continue to play a role in like training to be able to train with any of these guys, or is it more so just kind of like training by yourself? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, in the beginning, like the first couple years, it was definitely I hadn't really, gotten to really meet any of these guys. I hadn't done many races with them, and so I didn't really have any friendships, with the trail community. Especially coming from OCR, like there's not a whole lot of OCR racers in like the Utah area. It's pretty spread out. And so for the first couple of years, it was mainly just training alone. I would do pretty much 95% of my training solo. Um, and then, or I have a good friend from high school too that I run with as well. But yeah, none of the other, like Christian, etc. But then this past year though, once I'd raced him a couple times, we kind of become a little closer and more friends. Um, the over the summer months, we usually will meet up for a few workouts. Try to meet up maybe like once a week, once every other week. And so honestly, we don't do a ton of our training together, especially over the winter because for Christian, for example, like he really went after the marathon this year.
Yeah.
And with me dealing with my Achilles stuff over the winter months, like I couldn't put up that kind of mileage and those kind of workouts right now. And so, yeah, over the winter months, it's pretty separate. But over the summer months, when the trail season really hits, then we usually meet up at least once every other week or so for either like a long run or some sort of tempo run or FKT on Strava or just some kind of training run like that.
Yeah. Can you talk a little, like, because just like I feel like he's a little bit older.
Mhm.
He's kind of going through the process where he's now with Nike and like he's a big name in the sport. Has it been a little bit more of like a mentor for you as well, like as you've started to develop?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was super awesome watching him just go out. I mean, kind of back to that reference of that Speedgoat 50K in 23,
Yeah. I
24, whenever
think
that
that was the
was.
year he won. Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
was, yeah, that was the year he won, and I mean, he blew me out of the water. Like the first like half of that race, I was like, okay, let's just see how close I can keep with the top guys. And then and I was not ready for that 50K. Like that was the first 50K I'd ever done, and with that much elevation and in that kind of a race, like it destroyed me. But it was super awesome seeing him just absolutely crush that race though. And so after that race, I was definitely like, okay, I want to make more of an effort to get to know this guy, to train with him a little more often, especially since he lives so close. And so it's always hard to match up schedules. Like,
Yeah.
when you both have full-time jobs, like, you want to be a professional athlete, but in the end,
It's so hard.
not
Yeah.
many people actually make affordable money off of that. And so you've still got your full-time jobs and your families and all of that. And so it's hard to match up training schedules. But after that race though, I definitely made more of an effort to be like, okay, I want to train with this guy. Like he's absolutely killing it and he's continued to kill it. And so yeah, over those summer months, I definitely make an effort to run with him as often as I can. But again, a lot of the time it just comes down to schedule of work and family and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. No, that's amazing, dude. All right, I want to transition a little bit here. I'm not going to bury the lead too much. Like your dad is like the probably the goat of OCR in a lot of ways. Like
mhm.
literally probably the great, like Hobie Call is like the greatest to ever do it. What what is that like having like your dad being like coming up and like your dad's like a extremely, if not like the most well-known OCR athlete that ever lived. Like, what is that like in a house like that? Like, do you hold yourself to, like, I have to hold myself to like a high standard, especially as an athlete, or is it like? And I'm just kind of curious of what that was like growing up. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what is that? You tell me.
I mean, yeah, like I guess there's kind of two perspectives to it. Like there's the when I was a kid and like seeing him at the races and like seeing how popular he was and how everyone, wanted to come up and meet him and get their picture and like all of that. And then there was the at home perspective where it was like, like I said, like he worked a full-time job, he'd get up early, he'd get home, he'd work out, he'd get ready for bed and repeat, like that's that's what you have to do to be a high professional athlete. Like you have your schedules that you got to stick to and et cetera, et cetera. And so there's kind of the two perspectives to it. But from an at-home perspective though, I mean, he had an insane work ethic that like I definitely admire and try to like, live up to for sure. And like I said, he'd get up early, he'd go work his full-time job, he'd come home, he would always be happy to go and work out. Like one thing that I definitely learned from him was like it's not like a have to, it's a get to kind of thing, like a lot of the time when you get home from work, you're just kind of like, like that was a crappy day, or like I'm exhausted, all these excuses come into your head, or it's 95 degrees outside and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like how am I going to do this? It's like Hobie was 100%. Like he'd get home, he had a smile on his face, he's excited and happy to go and do it, not like a okay, I have to go and get this done kind of thing. And so that was definitely the most like um inspiring and like want to live up to that just attitude and desire to be a professional athlete because there's a lot of work that goes behind it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the show up on race day and everything's fun and everyone's so glad to see each other. It's like that's a very small percentage of of the whole year that goes into it. Um, and so yeah, there's I don't know if that really answered your question,
No,
but
it does. It does. I mean, I just couldn't think of a better role model and someone to like kind
yeah.
of show, because that's the thing. Like trail running, I think specifically trail and mountain running is a very blue collar sport in a lot of ways. Like
Mhm.
you don't make a ton of money. It's a very like
No.
you gotta like if you want to get good at it, you gotta grind. Like you have to be extremely dedicated, more dedicated than because your competitors are dedicated, right? So it's like, how
Mhm.
do I get that edge? I don't know. I just couldn't think of like such a good role model for someone so young to be able to like come up in the sport and kind of get to see like, oh, well, this is how I do it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the trail team. You were a selection this year, which I was so stoked that Andy selected you. Andy's got an eye for talent. Call him like one of the best talent scouts in the sport, if not the best. How excited are you, man? Like this is a really big opportunity, really big deal. Like what are your thoughts for being selected for the 2025 elite team?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I applied for the 2024 team, but after like the year before that, I was like I'd had some good races, but like nothing crazy, nothing really like outstanding. And so I wasn't too surprised when I didn't get selected. I was like, I know that like you said, he's got a good eye for talent, and so he picks guys that are performing well and that he thinks will continue to perform well. And so when I got the opportunity after all the racing of last year to apply again, I was like, okay, like I think I have a better chance of getting selected this year. And so yeah, when I did, I mean, I was super stoked. I was like there, I was able to after like the first half of the season last year, I was able to get to know them a little better. And then also do like a little bit of traveling with them for some of the later races in the year. And so yeah, like even before I got selected, I had gotten to know them a little bit, traveled with them a little bit, and I mean they're just so excited and happy to be there, and so it's like it's a great group to be with because obviously you want to be surrounded by like-minded people that are also excited and pushing themselves to the limits, and the week in and week out and doing everything that they can. And this team is definitely one of those kind of groups. And so yeah, I'm excited for the year. I'm excited to do some more traveling and racing with them, and yeah, and to compete with them. I mean, the guys that got selected this year are they're super good athletes, and
Yeah,
so
world
it's gonna
class.
be it's gonna be really fun to both race with them and compete with them. It's like yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. Can you talk about the selection process? So I actually don't know this, and probably I've never actually asked Andy like how it works. Like, it's just an application? Does he interview you guys after? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So basically you build like your race or running resume, like you typically would, and then you send that in, and he has just like an application for you to fill out, and then if you get selected down to I want to say maybe it's the final 15
Mhm.
applicants or 10. I can't remember what the exact number is, but then you just have like a Zoom, interview with them, with Andy. And then after that, then it goes to a board of, um, it's like 4 or 5 people I think that they had on the board this year. Um, and then they get together and they make like the final decisions of like, okay, these are the top 3 men, these are the top 3 women, or however many they decide to bring on for that year. But yeah, so
That's awesome.
just submit an application, have an interview to kind of get to know each other face to face a little bit, and then it goes to a board. So
I like the way he does that because it's like kind of in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's kind of like how sponsorships come about, right? Like it's
Mhm.
the same concept as like being able to pitch yourself, submitting a deck or submitting your resume, if you will, and then having conversations from there. And then usually it goes through, a few people until you get, more or less you start to haggle and get negotiations. So I like the way he does that because it's kind of like the start concept of like how sponsorships actually come to be, which is cool. So
Yeah.
kind of gets you guys primed for that next level when it starts to come. So that's cool.
Mhm.
All right, so I know you're excited for racing. I'm stoked to see you race this year. I think you're primed for a fantastic season. Maybe let's talk about what you got planned. I know you said you were going to open up the season with a Golden Trail Series race, so you tell me which one
Yeah.
you're going to be going to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll have the first trail race of the year will be the one in Italy. I can't remember the full name of it, but like the Isola, however you pronounce it,
Yep.
in May. So that'll be the first one. And then after that, we'll go to Broken Arrow again. And then we'll also have some Golden Trail Series race or not Gold, Cirque Series. We'll have
All
some
right.
Cirque Series races thrown in there again too. Just because I had such a good time with them last year. Like they throw on such an amazing event, and they have a lot of local ones, and so they're great. Like they're just great like filler races, you
Yep.
know. And
Yep.
so and they're so much fun. And so yeah, we'll throw in a few of those again as well, and then I think the last for the Golden Trail, my main focus this year is the Golden Trail Series. I want to make it to the World Finals.
Okay.
And so the third one that I plan on going to is the one in I think it's in Austria.
Yes.
Yeah, in August.
Yeah. The
I think
really
it's Austria
the
in
glacier
August.
glacier trail one or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
dude,
one.
that's a sweet looking. I know they haven't released the course yet, but just like some of the photos from the initial course, like glacier travel and stuff like that, looks
Oh
really
yeah.
sick. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be a cool one.
Yeah, they all look awesome. Like you look at each individual race that they post in this series and they all look like so much fun.
Dude, I'd love to see you
um
in like a series in all too if you can get in. Like that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be really fun too. Maybe next year. I'm thinking with this year, like this is just what's gonna fit. I chose specifically these three races. I think it's good what's gonna fit with my schedule the best
Yeah.
for this year. And give me a good chance at getting into the I'm trying to remember if it was like the top 30 in the
That's right.
point system. I
Yep.
think, yeah, top 30 in the point system gets invited to the final. And so, yeah, I'm hoping with those three races, that'll set me up in a good position to get into the finals at the end of the year. And then, so yeah, Golden Trail Series will be my main focus with some Cirque Series. And then I may have some other kind of random odds and end races thrown in there as well, but those will be the main points.
Dude,
So.
I really like it. Do you maybe you could talk to a little more like this because like you've kind of taken a sequential step each year. Like last year you had a big
Mhm.
year and like pretty much on the national scene, like you were very dominant. What do you think you learned from that you think you can take? Because this is, the international scene is the most competitive on the planet, like the Golden Trails series. Like, what do you think you can take into that for that you learned last year that you can apply to have some success?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think probably the biggest thing that I learned from last year um, is that you have to be confident to start out fast. Like something that I really struggled with the first year around was like I had this idea that like this is trail racing, like you're gonna go up and down, 5 different times. Like if you go out too hard, you're gonna die. And also the people that are going out so hard in front of you are going to die. And I realized through trial and error that like that's just not true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you kind of maybe you kind of want it to be true, but it's not. I was like, it's just the field has just gotten so competitive now, and people have gotten so good at being able to, redline certain sections. Like, let's say you're a really good downhill runner, then like you red cut and dry simple. Um, as the thought process of like if I start out, I'll pick people off as I go. Like you got to start out hard. The middle is hard. The end is hard. Like
Oh
there
yeah.
is no. They're kind of in road racing. You kind of get to settle into a pace, and you're like, okay, this is what I can handle. This is what I know I can handle, and so I'm not gonna push that envelope too hard. But in trail racing, like it's almost like the exact opposite. Like you have to push that envelope because other people are going to recover better on the down or other people are going to recover better on the up. And it's like you have to be willing to go back and forth on that. It's like a continuous battle.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's probably the main thing that I learned. And then also just getting the experience of racing last year. Like I said, I came from OCR before, and so while OCR is still mainly mountain focused running, you still have the obstacles to kind of break it up. And I remember in races last year being like, man, if only there was a sandbag carry right now, like I would catch that, that second and third place that are just dusting me right now. I was like, I could catch them. I know. I'd catch myself having those thoughts like as I was doing the trail races. And so yeah, like there's just a lot to learn, and you just got to be patient with it. Like the first year that I was doing mainly trail racing, like I would just every race I went into, I was like, okay, like I'm in such good shape. This is gonna be the one. And it just never really quite clicked. And like as frustrating as it was, like it's just, a reminder lesson. Like you gotta be patient. You just gotta keep on working at it. And like one day it is gonna click and you're gonna find your groove. And then you can really start, clicking off those races and getting some good times and competing against some of the best guys in the world. And I mean, I've still got a long ways to go for sure. Like there's still quite the gap between like, the 10th guy in the race and the first guy in the race. Like those top 3 to 4 guys, like they still definitely have
That level, yeah, is
yeah,
so
it's
high.
another level. It
Yeah.
really is. Like you yeah, like the times from fourth place to second and first are like they can be minutes, And it's like there's still definitely a whole nother level that needs to be pushed. But I mean, we're working on it though. I was
Yeah, dude,
like
that's what I was gonna say.
the US is definitely getting better and they're definitely closing that gap, but there's still another level that needs to be reached, but we're definitely getting closer. So, and it's super exciting to see and to be a
Yeah.
part of.
Well,
So,
dude, you're right on the precipice of breaking through. Like you're right there. It's gonna, you know what? Like I would not be surprised, if you roll up some huge results this year. It's gonna be exciting to follow. Let me ask you this: you're signed up for Sunapee, dude, and
oh
like
yeah, I forgot
that's
about that one.
that's a
Yes.
selection. That's a
That's
selection
a big one.
race. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like, if you is like a goal floating out there to possibly represent Team USA?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, that's the only reason I'm going. Like, yeah. Last year, I signed up for the first Cirque Series, the Snowbird, the USATF Championships, thinking that, or under the time that I signed up, that was the qualifier race for the USA team, which is the whole reason I signed up. And so yeah, my entire goal was like, I want to place top two. I want to get onto the US team. Like that's one of the main focuses of this year. And then it wasn't until after the race had finished that they told me like, oh no, like it got changed to the race the week before. Like it's no longer the top two, and I was like, oh man, like
That's a
well,
bummer.
that sucks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, it was still a really great day and a really great race, so like I couldn't be upset. But at the same time, I was like, man, like that was the whole reason I signed up for this race in the first place. And so this year, I'm back for redemption. I'm like, I'm gonna be at the right race this year to get those qualifying standards. And yeah, I mean, the whole reason I'm going is to take top two and to get that to get into that USA team. So
Okay. Have you ever
it's
been out like played around on the East Coast trails? Like it's a little bit.
I
Tom Hooper likes to call it so East Coast or something like that. I forget how he says it, but yeah, they're different. It's a little bit different, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I've raced out in trying to remember the name. It was like for I had an OCR race
I
in
know there's one at
twenty
Killington. There
twenty
was one.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, well I did the one in Ontario, Canada, up at Blue Mountain, I think. And so I raced like that was a very yeah, very green, luscious mountain kind of thing. I don't know if that'll relate to New Hampshire. I mean, they're somewhat close to each other, but not super close. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right, do
But
you think you're going to stick around for the week and do Cannon the next weekend? Cirque Series Cannon, which is in New Hampshire as well.
the
It's
Cirque
also the it's
Series.
also the week
Oh,
it's also the week
I
before Broken Arrow, so it
I
kind of makes
yeah,
it weird.
I wasn't planning on it. I was thinking about it, but yeah, for that exact reason, I was like, I don't want to race three weekends in a row that close to the beginning of the season. Like, kind of want to try to save myself a little for the end of the season this year.
That's true.
So, but but yeah, so I was like, I mean, I probably could race 2 weekends in a row. I was like, but I don't want to push it. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with New Hampshire for the USA qualifier and then Broken Arrow.
Yeah, dude, I really am excited to see you at Broken Arrow this year. I mean, I saw you finish. What the hell was it? Like 20, it might have been 2023. I think I saw you finish the 23K, and then last year you got what, sixth. So you've moved up every year. Like this year is obviously going to be the most competitive one because it's a proper Golden Trail Series race. But you know the course. You know, I don't, dude. I'd be betting on you. I think there's some good opportunities there. You know, to show up. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really like that course. The first year I was there because of the weather conditions, we didn't actually get to do
Yeah, it
the
was two
original
loops.
course.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was 2 loops, and so I was bummed about that. But this last year though, I mean, it's such a brutal but beautiful course. Like it's a lot of fun. And like you said, the competition is insane. I mean, the best of the best show up at that race. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm hoping. Yeah, last year my goal was top 8, and I reached that. And so this year I'm shooting for top 5. I was one place off the podium last year, and I was like, man, so close but so far. And so this year the goal is top 5. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be super competitive, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the race, dude. It's gonna be that week is gonna be nuts, man. I like just so much energy. It's gonna be just crazy, especially with the ascent too. Like the ascent's gonna be just bananas. Are you not? Are you on the start line for the? Are you gonna be on the at the ascent or no? Just this.
No, I wasn't
Yeah.
planning on doing the ascent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly
That's smarter.
my main strength in trail running is probably the descent, the downhills. And so I was like an all uphill race, like I could do fairly well, but not as good as like could compete in the 23K. And so I'm just gonna save the weekend for the 23K. I was like, that's my main focus. That's the one that I want to try to get points for the towards the Golden Trail series. And so yeah, I don't know. My uphill has gotten stronger over the years, but it's still definitely not my strength. And so an all uphill race, I'm like, I don't know. Not really too interested in that, but maybe
Dude.
someday though. Maybe someday I'll do one just because you gotta know, you gotta try to find out. And so
Yeah. No, you're
one day.
dude, you're totally right. I mean, I don't know. I think your uphill was pretty solid. Like I remember at Targhee, like when you put the moves on I was at Michelino and Talon. I was like super impressed. I was like, damn, that's not
Yeah,
bad. That's a
that
competitive race, dude.
That Targi one was awesome. Like I don't think I'd ever had so much back and forth at
Yeah.
the top end at the before that race. Like there was the three of us, we just kept on going back and forth on the ascent. And I mean even the ascent like oh man, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Zach, the
Yes.
guy, he was the one that he hit the peak before anyone. He was the first guy to hit the
Oh, I
peak.
didn't know Zach was
And
like straight in front. Okay, I didn't see
yeah,
that.
yeah, Zach was like, so it was me, Zach, and the guy with the long curly hair.
Okay.
He placed second. He placed right behind me at the Grand Targhee race. I'm drawing a
So
blank on his name too.
it was. I thought Talon was up there with you guys in Michelino. I didn't know that. Oh shit.
It was me, the curly, I can't remember what his name is, and
That's
then
what his name
Zach.
is.
That was
Okay.
the top 3.
Okay.
But anyways, but the 3 of us though, like we kept on going back and forth on the ascent, and then Zach's ascent is really good, and he got to the peak before us. And then as soon as we hit that downhill though, I was like, all right, this is a short race. I was like, I gotta bomb this. Like if I'm gonna win this, like I gotta go now. And so I caught him like right around when you hit the kind of the zigzags
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
down the mountain where it turned into the single track.
Yeah. Dude, I hated
And
that
then
part.
that's where I took the lead of the race. But that was a crazy race. There was so much back and forth yeah, for a trail race. There was so much back and forth. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a
But
good course. It's not enough vertical for me. Like it's just like I don't think it was only
yeah,
2,000 feet. Like I wish we had more.
yeah. There's
More
not a
vert.
ton.
No,
Not quite as much as
like Alta's my race. I love Alta.
Alta.
That's
Yeah,
my favorite one.
yeah. I didn't do Alta last year, but maybe I'll hop into it. Maybe I'll hop into it this year though. Does it have even more than Snowbird? I think Snowbird was
No, Snowbird's got the
three
most.
something.
Yeah, Snowbird's
Snowbird has the most.
almost
Okay.
4. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great course too. Snowbird's sick.
That is a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, got totally derailed here. I started talking about that. Dude, I'm curious to see like your relationship with like competition, especially like having grown up around it. Like, are you an extremely competitive person? Like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah.
You tell me. Like, on a level of
No,
like 1 to psycho, like where do you stand?
I'm not quite psycho. Like it, I'm only psycho about some things, but I'm not like one of those people like no matter what I'm doing, I have to be the absolute best.
Yeah.
Like that's psycho. I'm probably, if psycho's a 10, I'm probably like maybe a 7 to 8.
Okay.
And then on things that I care about, I'm like, I want to be the best, obviously.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but on it really depends on what it is. Like I've had my days in, let's take pickleball for example. I have had my days in pickleball where I'm like, ready to freaking break the paddle over your knee kind of thing. Like, so I have my moments, no doubt, but.
Oh, dude, I love it. That's hilarious.
Right.
What shoes do you like to run in? Like, what's your favorite shoe right now?
Yeah, my go-to trail shoe right now is the New Balance. Trying to see if I have them in here. I can't remember what they're called. They're the New Balance Trail Racer.
I
So
didn't even
like
know
they
they had
have
one.
the
Oh wow.
oh 1 second. I know I've got it here. It's for the roads. Because obviously over the winter months I do a lot more road running because the
Yeah.
trails are just destroyed in Utah. I mean, there's always snow or rain or something. And so for the roads right now, I really enjoy the Saucony line. So like the Endorphin, the Speeds, the Pros, the Elites,
Yep.
that kind of stuff for like for speed work and like racing, etc. But for the trails, I really like the New Balance fuel cells. Yeah, the New Balance fuel cell SC Trail.
Okay, cool. Dude, I didn't even
So
know that was like they. How about that? New Balance.
no, I didn't know either until a friend of mine, Blaze, got a pair, and he was like, "I think you would like these," and I was like, "Okay." And so they were on sale, so I was like, "Why not? Might as well try them." And yeah, and I tried them, and I freaking for training, like technically it's a racer shoe, but it's not built like most other racer shoes. It's not like as crazy and aggressive. And so I love it for training right now. Like they're super comfortable, and they don't have a high stack height, which for me, like, I don't understand how people run trail races in high stack shoes. Like, I feel so just unstable. Like, I like to feel low, centered to the ground. And so, like for example, the Adidas Terex racing shoe.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, the stack height on those things is like it's like a road marathon shoe. I'm like, how do people,
It's an ankle break
whip?
waiting to happen.
Yeah, like how do you whip around corners in that sucker? Like I don't understand it. I wore them for one race and then I haven't worn them since. I was like, nah, I rolled my ankle way too many times. I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah, yeah,
But
dude. I mean, you're not
other
the
than
only
that,
one,
I
man.
also really like the Solomons. Solomon has really good trail shoes, and so I like those as well. But
Nice, dude. Yeah, yeah, interested to hear. I've never heard like I got to check out the New Balance and see what they got going on now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like them. They're nice. They're they're these guys.
Okay. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like a bright green, and yeah, they're just New Balance Fuel Cell SC Trail.
Sweet.
I like them a lot. They're really good for training.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh?
All right, dude, I want to talk more about the trail team a little bit. One of the things that I really like about it is the mentorship component. What are you excited about that part? Like, are you looking for? Has Andy told you who the new mentors are going to be this year? You don't have to tell him on the podcast because I don't think it's been announced yet. But
we've got. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but I haven't actually talked with any of them or met any of them yet. And so, yeah, as far as the mentorship program goes, like right now, I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest. I was like, I haven't met with him yet. I haven't talked to him. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's announced who it is yet.
He hasn't said it yet. I'm just curious because I feel like to me, I don't know, as an athlete, like if you were an athlete coming up in the sport like that, I think that's such an amazing component, right? Is to be able to connect with these, like I know in the past he's had Grayson Murphy, like Adam Peterman, some of the biggest names in the sport. And like these folks have gone through the same exact stuff that you're going through and just understand it like in a much more intimate way. So I think that's like such a key component to like progression and getting better and learning more about the sport and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is really cool. And I'm excited to meet them and talk with them. Like it's really helpful to, like you said, talk with people that have gone through what you've gone through. And so, yeah, I mean, whether that's just general running and racing advice or as specific as, what do I need to do to amp up my resume so that companies, are attracted to, like how do I help build my sponsorship and stuff like that. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited, but
It's a delicate dance. I'm excited for you to kind of
it
like
is.
start going through that process after this year and start like looking different brands. Because like the reason I say is because I'm so excited, man. Like Brooks is like it been investing so much on like the sub ultra side. A lot of brands have been like more so like pushing their investment in sub ultra, which I like. Are you like career wise, like is that something you think you're going to chase for a while? Is more sub ultra, or are you like ultra curious? Like what's like what distances like excite you right now?
I'm definitely gonna stick with the sub ultra for at least a while.
But you've got talent, like supreme talent
I
at it. So
Yeah, like it's just I don't know. It's kind of like how on the roads, how like in the half marathon, you're able to push yourself like so hard the whole time. But then in the marathon, like you gotta kind of pace yourself. Like I like the sub ultra scene on the trails, like just being able to, even if it's as short as a Cirque race, like up to, 23, 28K of like the Golden Trail races, like they're just short enough to where you can push yourself so hard the whole time. And it's like it's just so much fun. Like you can just be sprinting down these hills and being like, this is what I have to do to win. Like it's not even an option. Like if you want to compete and you want to win, like you have to go fast the whole time. And that's just so much fun to me. Like I love running fast. And then I also think that maybe the 50K as Speedgoat kind of scared me off from that just a little bit. Like that was just such a brutal experience that I was like, man, like these shorter races, even though they're still so hard, like it's just so much more enjoyable. And then another really big part of it is to jump up to the ultra scene, like you have to have more time to train.
yeah,
And like with working a full-time job, like I'm up at 4:30 a.m. to work out, and then I go to work all day, and then I work out again in the afternoon, and then I eat dinner and I go to bed. It's like I don't even know where I don't even know where I would fit more time in my day to get those extra miles that you just are essential to bumping up to another distance. Um, and so yeah, there's kind of multiple reasons, but mainly it's just enjoyment of the sub ultra races. Like they're just so much fun and they're getting so much more competitive that it's like I feel like in the past there was kind of more of a desire and a need because for one there was more money in the ultra, and then for two that's where the competition went. Like when they did really good at the sub ultra, then they're like, okay, it's time to go to the next level. Now I feel like there's no need to go to the next level anymore. Like people are staying in the sub ultra scene
yeah.
and just getting faster and faster and faster and just more and more competitive. And so I'm like, well, if I don't need to jump, I'm not going to. Like I like the races I'm doing now, and it's extremely competitive and it's getting more popular. And so I just want to help that grow, honestly.
Oh, dude,
But
I love that answer, man. Yeah, I think that's especially for someone like me that follows and like covers the sport. Like the biggest
Mhm.
question I'm asking all the time is like, why in America are we so ultra centric? Like sub ultra is
Yeah.
so, and this is like, I mean, listen, ultra is really cool and exciting. Like
Oh,
there's,
it is.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love our sport, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying that like sub ultra is just so much. Like for me as an athlete, like dude, how much fun is it to train your ass off and then go smash yourself at a race? Like
Oh yeah.
it is like I don't know what that endorphin hit is like. I don't know like anything else like that in life. So I don't know. Like I find sub ultra to be so much more attractive because there's like these. Not only are the distances approachable for like a newcomer to the sport, right? You've got the
Mhm.
10K mountain classic distance. You've got VKs, just things like that. But like you have the ability to just get everything out of yourself if you push yourself super hard. So I don't know. I'm not
Yep.
saying that ultra is this. It's just a different type of pain, I think. And
Mhm. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I think one thing that like we plan to do better is like from a media perspective is like storytelling, like being able to tell your guys' stories better, so that way like you're a more relatable character in the sport to someone that would be an ultra or, the average person. I think that's something we haven't done very well in sub ultras, to be able to tell the stories of these athletes. And I think that's something like with more improvement and as the sport develops and grows, like there'll be like a stronger American contingent that like a fan base, if you will, for these athletes. So it makes it kind of easier to follow along. Cause that's what we're missing, man. We need a bigger fan base. Like in the Euro scene is so crazy. Like these people, like these people hike up in races in the middle of like Zagama and stuff like that, and they're ringing their cowbells, and it's like a whole big thing. And I'm like, we need that in the States. Like that needs to happen. So let me ask you this. You're like, dude, you're a structured guy and you're young. Like, how do you like that? Like, as far as like, you could be hanging out with your friends, but instead you're working a full-time job and you're training your ass off like morning, noon, and night. Like, how much excitement do you get out of that? Like, you sound like a very driven, stoked guy to go perform and pursue this goal. Like, is that what that's about? Like, what that is, or like, you tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna, lie and be like, oh, getting up at 4:30 brings me pure joy. Like, like no, like everyone has their days when they're like, oh man, the alarm goes off and you're like, I didn't sleep well last night, et cetera, et cetera. But no, like at the end of the day, I really, really enjoy working out hard and pushing myself like day in and day out. And it just brings a whole different level of satisfaction. Like when I make a plan at the beginning of the week and be like, okay, like this is the mileage I'm gonna hit, these are the workouts I'm gonna do, these days I'm getting up at this time, et cetera, et cetera. And then once that plan has been made, then like if I stick with that until the end of the week, it just brings a deeper level of satisfaction than deciding to sleep in one morning and skip, like, oh, like I'll just do my PM workout today. Like I don't need my AM workout. Like it won't make a difference. It's like as soon as I wake up after hitting that snooze and I get up at 6:30 instead of 4:30, I'm like, that 2 hours wasn't worth it. Like not a single time do I sleep those extra 2 hours and be like, oh, that I'm so glad I made that decision. Like, no, like I find so much more joy and so much more satisfaction out of getting up, sticking to the plan, putting in the hard work and the miles. And then, whether or not it actually ends up paying off on race day, because it doesn't always, you have bad days, you have bad races. Like it happens to everybody. And so it's like, but it doesn't matter though, because the journey to get there was still just so fun and so satisfying. And so I don't know. It always seems to pay off and to be worth it in the end.
You seem like a process guy. Like that's something I like.
I
I
love
think
the process.
same, dude. There's nothing more fun than like preparing and like making sure there's no stone unturned to get ready,
For sure.
ready for something. Isn't that like, I don't know.
For sure.
I feel like I'm talking to a younger version of myself here. This is amazing.
Yeah. No, it's so great. Like I even have to catch myself at times being like, okay, like last year, one of the main mistakes that I made was I trained too hard too early in the season, so that by the end of the season, I was dealing like fending off injuries and exhaustion and etc. And so this year around, I'm like, okay, the beginning of my season might be sacrificed a little bit, but like I'm gonna finish the end of the season a lot stronger, which is the main problem that I had last year. And so like right now, like I'm only doing one workout a day and I'm counting down the weeks until I get to start doing my AMs again. And so it's like there's just like, there's this excitement of like, oh, like the process of like slowly building and just getting faster and stronger and more disciplined is like I said, like it's just so fun and it's so satisfying that I'm itching to get back into it. I'm like, hey, like you got to take your time, you got to learn your lessons from last year. Like if you go too hard now, then in because it's hard, like you catch yourself doing it all the time. You're like, I need to be as best as I can right now. And I'm like, if I'm as best as I am right now, the season is so long that 6 months down the road, I'm gonna be battling all these things. Whereas like if I just start out a little slower and be a little more patient, but I mean, everyone struggles being patient. Like it's so hard to be patient, but sometimes you just got to do it. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I'm so ready to get to the next process to get things really rolling. But I'm like, you just got to be patient. You just got to be patient. Like it's just a few more weeks. And yeah, anyways,
Oh, dude, I love it,
but I
man.
love the process. It's great. It's so much fun.
It's dude, it's the best sport on earth. Like to be able to
I
like,
love running.
it's so much fun, right? And the fact
Yep.
like you hit on something like I love is like when you can reward yourself with a workout. When you get in that
Oh
type of
yeah.
mindset and like you're like craving it and like looking forward to the like whatever kind of session it would be, but just a hard session. Like those are the best.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
that's fun, man. I could say, are you are you coached by anyone or do you work? Do you train yourself?
No, I train myself. Yeah, I'd thought about in the past either asking my dad if he has some stuff, going back to a whole old high school coach or college coach, or even just finding a completely new coach. But um, I mean, kind of to go along with like the process of all, like I like to build my own. Like I feel confident that like okay, I've been running long enough that like I know kind of what key sessions I need to hit and what what mileage works best for me, etc. I mean that's something that I struggled with in college was like our coach would set stuff up and like we would just kind of I was stubborn, he was stubborn, and we just kind of bash heads and we'd get into our fights sometimes. And so when I graduated college, I was like I was so excited and happy to just be able to train myself and be like, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it. That like I've never gone back and I don't know. Right now, I don't see that changing anytime in the near future. I think I don't know. I enjoy too much building my own process and being like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and just sticking to it. But
I like that, man. You know what? There's
yeah,
something to be said about like self coaching, and like I think some people can benefit really well from it, but others, like for instance, like I now coach myself, and like I've like drastically expanded my fitness. Like I've done a lot of
yeah,
things that like I probably wouldn't have done had I had a coach, and it's worked or continues to work. So I'm like, I don't know. I think different people in different like spots of their career could benefit from it, but or like the average person maybe, but like I think certain people it works just being able to like, be committed to the process. And if you don't need someone to motivate you, that's half the battle already. If you're already self-motivated
yeah.
and you can just
That's
figure out your own workouts, then yeah, it's not you don't need somebody to do it. So
yeah, for
uh,
sure.
all right, dude. So we're cutting down now. Starting to get tight on time. So I want to pivot to some ending questions. I'm very
Mhm.
curious to see who inspires you.
Yeah, I mean, heck, freaking most recently, Andy. Man, I just saw his road races that he's throwing down right now. Like,
Andy's a
I can't
monster,
remember
dude.
or something like that. Like, I was mind blown, man. I was like, holy cow, like freaking taking a little step back from the trails and hitting the roads and he's just killing it. I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I'm so happy for him and excited for to see what he can do for the rest of the year. And so I mean, most recently, Andy has been super inspiring. I mean, in the past, I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, but Christian,
Yeah.
I mean, really uh, getting with Nike and making that, like dream of his come true. Like that was awesome. That's definitely something I'm trying to do myself. And then I mean Hobie, my dad for sure. Like he, I mean him probably the biggest of all, just because like you said, I got to see it from a young age unfold. Everything from his dreams to being an Olympic marathoner that just didn't quite pan out. But then, I mean, he still did amazing. I mean, he still ran like a 2:16, I think. Is like still really awesome racing. But then even more so than that, though, like kind of having rough times after the Olympic trials and then picking himself back up and getting revamped into like OCR and like just being just as happy about a completely different side of running, but still have just as much joy and passion in it. Like that was super inspiring as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure there have been others throughout my life as well, but I think those are the first three that popped to mind.
No, that's a perfect. I think, dude, Andy, especially right now, like Jesus, like
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
Anthony's
he's
on
just
like yeah,
killing
his
it
race
right
has been on
now.
another level. I gotta hand it to him. And dude, Christian, one of the things you said is like, I'm trying to live out that, that dream. Like, is there any brand in particular that like you've had in mind for a long time that you like that kind of calls to you, or is it more so just the dream of being a professional athlete?
It's mainly just the dream of being a professional athlete. There's been a couple of brands that like I really like their gear. And so, but I mean, other than that though, like nobody is like really stuck out like as far as, like story wise
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like nobody's been like, oh, like that's such an inspiring brand. It's more just been like, oh, like I really like their gear, like I really like racing in their shoes, so I want to be sponsored by them, kind of a thing. And so, nobody that like I'm just dying to be sponsored by. It's mainly just the idea of like, I mean, when it really comes down to it, just someone to help pay for races like Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I'm like, I just need like a little support to be able to get out there, do the amazing races that I want to do. Like that's what is mainly coming down to right now.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, honestly, just whichever good company is able to help me get there, I'm happy with that. So not too picky, but
I don't play, dude. Well, after this season, I'm sure you'll have a pick. You'll have a pick of them. All right, dude. If you're getting ready for a race, it's a serious race or a hard effort. Like, what are you listening to? Like, what's your favorite? What's your favorite tune before a race?
um, honestly, I don't think I have one. Like, I don't like. A lot of the time, I'll just turn on whatever's on the radio. I
Okay.
I really don't have like a hype up song or like playlist. Um, I mean, most of the time I work out, it's quiet. Like I usually don't run with music or work out with music. Most of the time it's just either me and some friends or me and my own thoughts. And so that kind of translates over to race day too. Like just I don't know. I'm not really used to listening to music when I run, and so it doesn't really pop into my head to do it before I race. I just whatever's on the radio as I'm driving up the canyon to whatever ski resort the race happens to be at, and that's pretty much it.
I like it.
So
I like it,
yeah,
dude. There's something to be said. It's very
it's
powerful about not needing a song to like hype you up, or you just like personally like get into that. You can get your own
yeah, I
rhythm.
just get excited. I'm like, heck, I mean, it's hard not to. Like once you get out of the car and you look at the amazing mountain that you're about to either crush or get crushed by, you're like, it's hard not to get excited. You're like, well, all right, my heart's racing. I don't need anything else. Like, all I need is to look at that peak and be like, that's lots of, it's a lot of climbing ahead of me. And that does the trick.
Are
So,
you? Do you get nervous at all on start lines?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it depends on the race, like some more than others. I used to get nervous really bad in high school, but I was able to get it a lot more under control in college. And then that's just kind of transferred over to the trail racing um, and yeah, like the professional races I do now. Like I'll still get nervous, but it feels more of a, it feels like more of an excitement energy than a nervous energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's not too bad. It's more just excited to get going, and then as soon as the gun goes off, then like it all disappears and it just turns into adrenaline. Like just go, go, go. And so
I
yeah.
like it. That's cool. No, it's interesting, man. Like some people tell me, like, no, I don't get nervous, and then some people are like, yeah, I'm like extremely nervous. And I feel like it just comes down to like the cadence
Yeah,
a cadence of racing. Like the more you race, the less nervous you get, or the more you just get
for
used to it.
sure.
At least, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the first couple of races of the season are always the most stressful
yeah,
because you're like, okay, it's been a long break. Like, am I in the shape that I think I am? What are the main things that I'm going to need to work on? Stuff like that. But then once you're a couple races into the season, though, you kind of get back into the flow of things and you're like, all right, it's just another day, just
yeah.
another race.
Just
And
another day at
so,
the office. That's right.
yeah, just another day at the office. That's right.
Oh man. All right, dude. Last question. I usually ask a stupid, silly question at the end. It's like my MO. It's usually something with aliens or Bigfoot or like AI. With you, I think I'm going to ask, like, do you believe in aliens? What's your take on aliens?
Do I believe in aliens?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's no way we're the ones. Now I'm not saying I believe in six eyes green or whatever kind of things. But yeah, there's no way, like there's so much out there. There's no way we're the only things. There's no way.
I feel it. I'm the same way. Oh man. All right, dude. Well, Hawk, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, dude. I hope this is the first of many conversations. Obviously, you and I will be in touch. Literally, we'll talk before Broken Arrow, and we'll talk before Sunapee as when we start to do race previews and stuff like that.
For sure.
But dude, I think this is a good starting point for your story, and thank you so much for coming on to let me help tell your story. And dude, I'm so psyched for your future. Like, I'm stoked, man. I'm really excited to have had you on, have had a conversation.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited too. And so, yeah.
All right,
I'll see you at some races.
That's right. That's right. I'll be in touch. What'd you guys think? Oh man, what a fun episode. Thanks so much for Hawk for coming on. Like I said, want to give a big shout out to Hawk for making the Trail Team Elite Team for 2025. And like I said, I'm so excited for where this kid's future is going to take him. He's so dialed, such a professional. And it's going to be fun to see where his future goes over the next few years. Guys, follow him on Instagram. Hop on Instagram, give him a follow. That's going to be at Hawk_Call. So that's Hawk_CALL. Like I said, give him a follow. He's got some entertaining reels actually on Instagram. He posts some good stuff on his training, what he's been up to over the spring and winter for some of his off-season training and just some of his stuff that he's got going on. So definitely give him a follow. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. Guys, before you get going, if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you consume your podcasts. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much.